Spiritual Center, and welcome to the sanctuary. On behalf of Reverend Deb Moore, I am Ryan Gill. This is the Sanctuary Band. Everyone is present and accounted for today. That's Jackie, Jackson, Daphne, and Mary Grace. Everybody say, "Hi, Sanctuary Band." All right, we are ready to sing. And what a better way to open this service than to start in gratitude. Let's give thanks for this day. Let's give thanks for our friends. Let's give thanks for this healing energy that is in this very room. And then let's give thanks for our source. All right, let's stand up and say thank you for this day. I want to say thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful, so grateful. I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
This day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends.
My wonderful friends.
My wonderful friends.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
I want to say thank you. I'm so grateful. Sing, God is my source. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything. Oh, let's go to joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Love God. God gives me everything I need. Say it again. God gives me everything I need. One more time. God gives me everything I need. Woo! Till you look at the person next voice and repeat after me. We come together. 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 In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. Come together. We come together. In the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. Come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. 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 In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God and each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, Namaste, I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. Name of love. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. All right. Please be seated. If there's any youth, yeah, I feel like my cousin Vinny. If there's any youths in the building, you may go with Miss Steph. Thank youths. All right, everybody. I feel the joy in the room. What about you? That's right. We come together in the name of love. That is like the perfect song for us, right? Say, Namaste, I bow to you. Welcome to Mini Path Spiritual Center. We are an inclusive, affirmative, alternative spiritual community, right? There has to be an alternative, right? There has to be an alternative, and you're sitting in it. And thanks to you for being here. We always say that we accomplish 3 things by coming every Sunday, every week. That every time we walk in the building, we come here to love one another. We come here to be in spiritual community with each other. And then we hope to give each other, because we learn from each other, we hope to give each other spiritual tools that we can use along our spiritual path. That's why we're here, and that's what we aim to do. So thank you all for being here this morning. And I do believe we have some announcements, so let's rock and roll. Yeah. Everybody say hi, Kat. Hi, Kat.
Hello? Oh, there I am. Okay. All right. Survival of the Soul with Frank Castellano. First class, June 11th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Class and discussion based on the books by psychologist Dr. Michael Newton. What happens when we leave our body and pass? How does karma and sacred agreements play a role in this? Why are we assigned to certain soul groups? How is it that we have 2 destinies and not just one? This class is a discussion delving into the research of Dr. Michael Newton and his books, Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. First class, Tuesday, June 11th, here at Mini Paths. Vibrational value of $10. What time? 6:30. 6:30. 6:30. Join Steph for the Happy Class Thursday, June 12th from 6:30 to 7:30. This class will feature cardio drumming paired with Reiki relaxation and uplifting aromatherapy. Cost is $20 for adult, $15 for teen, and signups and more information are at the front room bulletin board. Join the Connect group at the Rudder Restaurant, 126 River Road in Hendersonville at 11:30 on Thursday, June 19th. Come, bring a friend if you'd like, and let's enjoy great food, great company, and great conversation. Sign-up sheet is on the bulletin board in the front room. Peace Circle, a gathering of hearts and voices, Friday, June 20th at 7:30. Come together, bring an instrument, and let's cultivate our combined energies for peace, connection, and love to send to the world. The summer solstice is often seen as the most powerful day of the year, so let's align with this energy to illuminate our community, our country, our world, and the universe. Let us circle, play music, chant, and raise our hearts to the energy of peace, love, and harmony. Bring a chair and an instrument of your choice. Pride dance to follow. Dance, dance, dance the night away at Many Paths Pride Dance on June 20th after the summer solstice circle. See the sanctuary transformed into a disco and hear all of your favorite dance hits as we move, groove, and celebrate Pride as only Many Paths can. If you would like to assist with planning and decorating, contact Steph. Discover your personal energy design with special guest Jen Hoft. Did you know we all manifest differently depending on your aura type, as well as each type has a specific strategy to learn to flow energetically and listen to their intuitive voice. Just like you have your own astrology chart, you have your own design when you were born. Come and discover how your specific energy works in the world. To sign up, see Frank or email appointments at thespiritchrysalis.com. June 24th here at Many Paths, vibrational value of $33. Join us Friday, June 27th from 7 to 8:30 as we join together in Satsang Circle. Bring questions, concerns, joys, gratitude, or just your presence, which is always enough, as we share truth and oneness in beloved community. All activity or meeting links and contact numbers can be found on the website, in the weekly happenings email, on the Google Calendar, or you can always email the church.
Thank you, Kat.
I love doing that. Good morning, Many Paths. Is this it? Okay. So, here it is. Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering statement is, I change my energy and change my world. We have heard many times that change is constant, and it doesn't take a degree in molecular biology to understand that everything around us is in constant flux. And we may not see all these changes because of many of them exist at the cellular or atomic level, but they carry on regardless. In addition to its constant state of movement, energy just is. It exists. It cannot be created or destroyed. It can't disappear, and it cannot add to itself. Energy is perpetual, and it's always transforming. Think of water. You cannot get rid of the energy that is water. You can only change its form. As above, so below, in the same way that water can transmute into different forms, we can also change our own energy in order to manifest the good that we desire. We can take the energy that we feel and channel it into productive work or creativity. All energy can be transformed. All energy manifests. Applying this law in our lives means that we have the power to change the conditions in our lives. Life doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice and action. This idea of perpetual motion is the idea behind one of our fundamental teachings. Our thoughts and emotions are forms of our creative spiritual power. This spiritual power is the power to change our energy. Positive thoughts and forward motion are a powerful force. If we allow ourselves to be changed by the constant motion of positive energy, we will experience rapid shifts. And when we combine our high vibration with others, as in a spiritual community, we can move any energy into whatever we desire. And now, please repeat these affirming statements after me. I am in charge of my energy, and I harness it for good. I am in charge of my energy, and I harness it for good. My thoughts and emotions are forms of my spiritual power. My thoughts and emotions are forms of my spiritual power. I embrace change and use it to become a better me. I embrace change and use it to become a better me. And so it is.
Thank you, Kelly. Well, happy Pride, y'all. I said that last week. I'm going to say it every week for a month. And are we ready to sing our Pride song? Yes. All right. So we say this is our monthly mantra, and this is certainly a song that definitely speaks to who we are as a community, because we are an affirming community. We accept people for who they are when they walk in the door. Doesn't matter LGBT or whatever you choose to, however you choose to define yourself, you are welcome here. And this song really speaks to that. I will highlight the second verse because it's my favorite. There's still so many answers I don't know, but I realize that to question is how we grow. So I step out of the ordinary, and I can feel my soul ascending, and I'm on my way. Can't stop me now, and you can do the same. How positive is that? Let's stand up and sing it. I look into the window of my mind. Reflections of the fears I know I've left behind. I step out of the ordinary, and I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way, can't stop me now. You can do the same. What have you done today? What have you done today to make you feel proud? You could be so many people if you make that break for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? There's still so many answers I don't know. I realize that to question is how we grow. So I step out of the ordinary, and I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way, can't stop me now. You can do the same. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You can be so many people Thank you so much. Please be seated.
So let me just tell you, what I've done today to make me feel proud is got dressed. And I remember a time when I was in high school. I've always loved overalls. We're going to talk about the earth today. That's why I've got overalls on. I've always loved overalls, although I was discussing with Pat earlier my problem with being long-waisted. And if you see me doing this a lot, it's because overalls and long-waisted people don't always go together. But when I would wear overalls, isn't that the truth? Yeah. But when I would wear overalls in high school, invariably somebody would say, well, hey, Farmer Deb, right? They got to make something. Or they would start singing. You know what they would start singing? No. Oh, that was a good one. Huh? No. They'd start singing something only people over 40 or 45 in here would probably even know. The theme song to Green Acres. Right? Acres is the place to be. Farm living, that's the life for me. Green spreading out so far and wide. Forget Manhattan. I don't know what key you're in, but it's not the key. I don't know. Okay, or we're not in the key. Forget Manhattan. Just give me that countryside. I tell you.
I don't remember that being on, but I do remember the reruns.
Okay, all right. I remember the original. All right. Don't forget, that's right. That's right. Well, I tell you what, this desire to go out to the countryside is something deep and innate within us. The desire to get back in touch with the earth is something that calls to us from a very deep place. And so for this brief moment of meditation together, I want to invite you out to the Green Acres. I invite you to close your eyes and to get comfortable in your seat, whatever that means for you. That centering statement, when we take a deep breath and then we change our energy, we shift our energy. Being connected with nature is like a full body deep breath. The earth is our mother. Remember with me those first few weeks of the pandemic in 2020 when the earth immediately began to heal itself. Migratory birds found their old patterns, and migratory animals crossed highways that had kept them blocked in. Oceans began to get clearer and cleaner in the sky. Mother Earth teaches us that when we're allowed to return to our natural state, healing happens quickly and easily. When we go into meditation, when we silence the mind, we're allowing our essence to rest in its natural state and to rejuvenate itself, to heal itself, to come back into a place of full flowering, free living, peace, in the stillness, in the silence. The earth is our mother. We are her children. We arrived here because of the changes of energy that the earth naturally is always flowing with. Constant shift, constant blossoming, constant evolution. We are the product of that. And when we connect with our place in the natural scheme of things, the natural order, that we understand why we are here. We are here to learn. We are here to grow. We are here to serve. And so it is.
Serve today, sweet spirit. How can I serve today? Oh Lord, speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today? Oh Lord, speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go.
Who needs my love today? Sweet spirit.
Who needs my love today? Oh Lord, speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I share today, sweet spirit? How can I share today? Oh Lord, speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go.
Who needs my joy today?
Sweet spirit, who needs my joy today? Oh Lord, speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today? Oh Lord, speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go.
Love this band. Yeah. This is like my favorite musical group right here. And I'll tell you what I love about it. I was sitting there listening as they were singing that song, and it dawned on me what I love about this group. I've been in churches before where the folks in the praise and worship team or the folks who are standing up in front of you were there at the church because they got to be on the praise and worship team and they got to stand up in front of you. But I know that every single one of the people in this group are on a spiritual journey. They're doing the work, right? They're connected, they're engaged, and they're here first because of that. And I got to tell you, that makes a difference in what happens musically, doesn't it? In the same kind of way, I was raised, by a minister. My dad was a minister. And there we go. I'm waiting on that to happen there. My dad was a minister, and, I was raised in the church in a time where when you got ready for church on Sunday morning, you wore a certain thing, right? As a little girl in the Nazarene church, it meant I had to put on a dress. It's the primary reason I left religion. Because I didn't want to wear a damn dress ever again in my life. No. Yeah, as I say when I'm in overalls. And, but I'll tell you, that runs deep. It runs deep. And even this morning as I was getting dressed, I knew I was going to talk about the earth today. And I thought last night before I got to bed, I thought, you should wear your overalls tomorrow. And even this morning I thought, does that really put forward the air of spiritual authority? Does that really look ministerial? Does it somehow, and I had to check my own self, because there is a little truth to that. There's a truth that you dress for success, right? If you've ever walked into a really important business meeting and you thought it was casual Friday and it wasn't, and people, it's not a good look, right? You want to be prepared, and I'm all about that. But here's what, I don't want anything I say to you sound like truth or become important because I look the part. I want it to sound like truth and be important because it resonates in your spirit somewhere, right? In a way that is true and authentic. So we've got this beautiful, I got a lot of beautiful pictures for you today. Just get ready with the ooh, ah, oh, right? We got different pictures are going to bring that. And then I'll show you the pictures first, and then I'll add all the words to it. We'll be saying this a lot, but I want you to see that the earth is the centerpiece today. And of course, our topic is Sacred Earth. The whole series that we've been doing recently, I've kind of called it the Sacred Earth series because we've been working with John Philip Newell's Sacred Earth, Sacred Soul. It's the Sacred series, right? It's really the Sacred series. And today, we're all about the earth. I want you to fall in love with the earth all over again today. That's my goal. When Moses encountered the burning bush in the book of Exodus, he hears these words, "Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground." Right? And my goal today is to show that all the earth is holy ground. All the earth, and to maybe even inspire you to put your bare feet up on it. Now, for some of you, that might be easy. Some of you put your bare feet on the earth all the time. Other folks, I got to be honest with you. I don't remember the last time my bare feet touched earth. I am what they call in the old world a tenderfoot, right? I don't even go around my house without socks on. Like, I am almost never barefoot. I am barefooted in the shower. That is pretty much it, right? And I always have shoes on when I go outside. I have a pair of, it's the one good thing. It's the reason Crocs were made, right? Got that pair of Crocs sitting right by the door. It's what I throw on when I'm going out to work in the yard a little bit. But I do think there's some power in letting your bare feet touch the earth, if you can. Right? There are lots of different kinds of people when it comes to nature. We have a mantra at my house. It goes like this: if Nikki sees a mouse, we're selling the house. That's the mantra. If Nikki sees a mouse, we're selling the house. We all have different ideas about nature. Like, when I've gone camping, this is how I've gone camping. I've gone tent camping, but I come from hillbillies, right? That's a natural kind of thing. There are some folks who don't really want to do that. They want a nice RV or the Hilton down the road, something like that. Tent camping, if you've ever had that opportunity to wake up outdoors with the sun, there's no better wake up. There's no better coming into the new day than to do that, right? But some folks want a bed, and I get that. I tent camped when I was in my 30s. I'm not sure I'd do it again, right? Some folks hate mosquitoes, but the mosquitoes love them, right? Some folks hate the lack of heat and air. We've become kind of addicted to heating and air conditioning. Some want access to a bona fide bathroom, which is a big part, right? I'm telling you, you're going to love the earth. I'm not trying to make you upset with the earth. We're soft. We've gotten soft. I'm not here to pass judgment on that. I'm as soft as any of us right here. Some people love a walk in the woods as much as anything. Some have no interest. Some are afraid of what they might encounter, right? Sumner County has black bears now. Rutherford County's got a zebra, right? Running around. And from what I understand, it looks like a friendly little horse. It's not. They're aggressive. Don't get near that zebra if you find it, right? They're wild animals. And we have coyotes and foxes. And then, of course, there's everybody's favorite, snakes. Skunks. Oh, my Lord, yes. My father taught me to love nature. You know, I come from a long line of hillbillies in East Tennessee. My father taught me to love nature, but he also taught me this. This was his piece of wisdom. Never put your hand where you haven't looked, right? Never put your hand where you haven't looked, because you don't know what's out there. Those are leopards, not jaguars. I checked. So jaguars are native to the Americas. Leopards are in Africa and Asia. They're almost identical. Jaguars are a little bigger, and some of their spots, you see those spots in the middle that look like rings? On a jaguar, they'll have little dots inside those spots, but a leopard does not, right? I don't want to, I know, right? Don't get close enough to check. I thought at first when I was thinking about it, because I had to look it up. I found this picture. I thought, isn't that lovely? I think it's a jaguar. Maybe it's a leopard. Are they different? I don't remember. So I had to Google leopard versus jaguar, and I got all this information. And I thought it might be one of those examples of convergent evolution. You all know about convergent evolution, right? Convergent evolution, for those who don't know, is this idea where in different parts of the world, on different sides of the globe, very, very similar species will evolve almost identically because their conditions are the same, right? And they need the same things, but they're not related to one another. Bats and birds both evolved wings because they both had the same evolutionary need, right? So I thought maybe if the jaguars are in the Americas and the leopards are over in Asia and Africa, maybe this is convergent evolution. But it's not. It's just cool. I just want to talk about it because we're talking about the earth. They're actually related. They're both in the Panthera genus, right? They are related to one another. That's a leopard. John Philip Newell tells us that in Celtic wisdom, we remember the earth is sacred. Every tree and bush, every flower and creature, every hill and mountain is on fire with the divine. The life within all life is holy. On fire with the divine. The terrestrial is celestial. I thought that would get a bigger reaction. I really did. The terrestrial is celestial. Just imagine, thank you, I'll be here all week. Just imagine, we won't. Very good, very good, very good. Just imagine, if you will, that there was a kind of convergent evolution happening in the universe, and somewhere way, way off that we haven't even discovered yet, there's another rock that's floating around another star. And it has had the same exact conditions as this earth. And it has created things like trees and fish and turtles and birds and people, very much like us. For those people, we would be celestial. We're part of the heavens, right? The terrestrial is celestial. We're all part of this universe. We're just another part of the creation of the entire universe. The Romantic poets knew this, including my very favorite William Wordsworth. I love to teach William Wordsworth. And so there's this place, let me show you here. This is a place called Tintern Abbey. And it was built in 1131. 1131. It's a really, and this is a modern picture, so that's a remarkably well-preserved ancient structure, right? Built by the Cistercian order of monks, they were a shoot-off from the Benedictines, and they believed that in order to be the kind of monks they wanted to be, they had to get away from the cities, away from people, be out in the woods. And this abbey is located near the border between England and Wales, near the southern end of that border, where the border of those two countries is the River Wye, W-Y-E, it's pronounced Y. Notice how it's surrounded by mountains. This is basically like East Tennessee right here, right? This is, and by the way, it's the same mountain range. Y'all know that, right? From when it was one continent. So the Smoky Mountains and the mountains that go through Scotland are the same mountain range, right? So the poem that Wordsworth writes and that I teach in my literature classes, that's one of my favorites, is called Lines Composed a Few Miles Above Tintern Abbey on Revisiting the Banks of the Wye During a Tour July 13th, 1798. Rolls right off the tongue. And the title is the shortest thing about it. It's a little bit long. I often think I'm going to teach the whole thing, but it's a little bit long. It's a poem about nature. The Romantics loved nature, and it's a poem about the power of nature and the power of memory and how nature can soak into our memory and provide what Wordsworth calls food for future years, right? We can hold that experience and we can return to it. I'm not standing in the Great Smoky Mountains right now, but I can close my eyes and I am there. And one of the lines he uses to describe the power nature has is this: with an eye made quiet by the power of harmony and the deep power of joy, we see into the life of things. This is the power that comes about from spending time in nature. One of these days, I'll teach the entire poem. I'll warn you before I do. It has a little bit of an older diction, which makes it challenging for modern readers, but it's kind of like halfway between Shakespeare and now, right? The diction. And so, but you know, here's the thing, with Shakespeare, with scripture, with any of those, part of the bonus, the benefit, is the challenge we have in understanding it. And getting through doing the work to understand it takes us to a deeper appreciation. So I'm going to read for you a section from this poem, a little bit longer section, but I think it perfectly sums up the power that nature has. For I have learned to look on nature not as in the hour of thoughtless youth, but hearing oftentimes the still sad music of humanity. And I have felt a presence that disturbs me with the joy of elevated thoughts, a sense sublime of something far more deeply interfused, whose dwelling is the light of setting suns, and the round ocean, and the living air, and the blue sky, and the mind of man. A motion and a spirit that impels all thinking things, all objects of all thought, and rolls through all things. Therefore am I still a lover of the meadows and the woods and mountains, and of all that we behold from this green earth, of all the mighty world of eye and ear, both what they half create and what perceive. Well pleased to recognize in nature and the language of the sense the anchor of my purest thoughts, the nurse, the guide, the guardian of my heart, and the soul of all my moral being. That is not a small thing for nature to be. That's some heavy lifting there. For the Romantics and the naturalists and all of us, nature thus becomes a central spiritual experience, the guide of all my moral being, right? The guardian of my heart. Anybody know where that is? Who? Where? Yosemite. That is Yosemite. One of the best things America ever did was our national park system. Yeah. There's a fantastic documentary, if you haven't seen it, by Ken Burns called The National Parks, America's Best Idea. Nobody else had this idea before we did, right? It was really, truly an American idea. We set aside these incredibly beautiful places of nature to preserve them for future generations, to make them available to all. And there's a great naturalist who, upon entering Yosemite, said these words, "Never shall I forget my baptism in this font." And I love the way that he uses these spiritual words because spiritual language fits so perfectly with the idea of connecting with nature. Who said it? Anybody know who said it? Carolyn, do you know who said it? Probably John Muir. Yeah, that's right. It was John Muir, right? I knew you'd know. I want to talk to you a little bit about John Muir. Look where he lived, 1838 to 1914. He was born during the era of slavery in this country, and he died in the year that World War I began, right? John Philip Newell calls him an American Celt. He was born in Dunbar, Scotland, and his family immigrated to America when he was 11. He never lost his Scottish accent, though, which is kind of interesting because linguists have found out that when immigrants move to a different country, there's a certain age at which you will either retain or lose your accent. And that age is 14. 14 is the age. If you move over here, that's why little children whose family bring them to the United States at a young age, by the time they're 18 years old, they're sounding like an American, right? But someone who moves over here when they're 15, 16, 17, they never lose their accent. They'll have it for the next 50 years, 60 years, however long they live, right? But he was 11 when he came over here, and he retained his Scottish accent, and I like to think it's because he felt connected. He didn't want to let it go. He wanted to hold on to those wonderful Celtic roots. His father was described as a narrow, angry Calvinist who tried to teach the young Muir that we are poor worms of the dust conceived in sin. You know, that old original sin idea we've been talking about. But it was his grandfather who was still steeped in the Celtic spiritual way of seeing the world that was the important person during his formative years in Scotland. And because of this, Muir saw the earth as heaven incarnate. When he was a young man, he enrolled in the University of Wisconsin. And the year before he started college, Charles Darwin published a work called On the Origin of Species. It was 1 year old when John Muir went to college, and he had a professor who introduced him to evolutionary thought and the idea that the universe is constantly unfolding, and he began to see that everything is in flux, everything is in movement, everything is in constant change, always blooming into a newer version of itself. He was a pacifist. He wanted to avoid being drafted into the Union Army during the Civil War, so he took off by foot through the woods of northern Wisconsin, and he crossed over into Canada, and they gave him sanctuary, and he worked, rather ironically, in a sawmill. Right? Not the kind of place you'd think of John Muir working. Until the war was over, and then he went to Indianapolis, and he started working in a wagon wheel factory, and there was an industrial accident. And when this industrial accident happened, he almost lost his eyesight. And he had to stay isolated in a darkened room for 6 weeks to try to heal his eyes. And he was afraid he would never see again. But when he regained his sight, he says that he began to experience a new inner way of seeing. He had an awakening through this, what Hindus might call, right, seeing with the sacred eye, what the Celts called seeing with the eye of the heart. And he began to see, as he would later describe it, quote, this is a quote of his, spiritual fire burning in every tree, in every bush, in every stone. Every bush is a burning bush. All land is sacred. So he left his job and he began a pilgrimage out into the natural world. Those are California redwoods. They're not giant sequoias, although they look very much the same. And they're not the product of convergent evolution. I'm talking a lot about convergent evolution, and nothing I talk about today comes from convergent evolution. They are actually related to one another, much like the jaguars and the leopards. Redwoods are the tallest trees on Earth. The giant sequoias are the largest trees by volume. When I was a kid, it was very famous. There was, when you went to the Sierra Nevadas and you went to see the giant sequoias, there was one that they had, it hurts my heart now to think about it, carved out a huge thing your car could drive through, right? Probably a tree that was thousands of years old. During John Muir's life, they actually stripped the bark off of one of the giant sequoias so they could ship it all over to Great Britain and show them. I don't know what they were trying to ship over there, but nonetheless, they discovered after they had killed this tree that it was 2,500 years old, right? 2,500, before Christ. That tree was birthed at the time of Buddha, right? And so you have these two different types of redwoods are on the coastal forest. The giant sequoias tend to be up in the mountains, the Sierra Nevada mountains. Muir, by the way, was a co-founder of the Sierra Club, which is still an active club. And he once said, the king tree, he meant the sequoia, the giant sequoia, the king tree and I have sworn eternal love, right? We have sworn eternal love to one another. But he looked upon these trees and this nature that he was around as a divine manuscript. Much like another Celt that we've studied, John Scotus Erugena. Erugena taught that there were two books through which God speaks. The little book is Scripture. The big book is nature. And in the same kind of way, Muir saw nature as a divine manuscript still being written and available to all. It speaks in all languages. It speaks to everyone in its own way. It allows you to see the lesson that you need to see, right? What an amazing, in the same kind of way, Thomas Paine in his work, The Age of Reason, basically said, if you want to know the Creator, the only way to do that is look at the creation. It's the only way to know the Creator, is to be steeped in the creation. Muir loved the Sierra Nevadas like I love the Smoky Mountains. So this is the closest I've ever lived to the Smoky Mountains, but my father's family is from there. And I come from a long line of hillbillies, as I proudly tell you every time I get the chance. The founders of Gatlinburg are my 5th great-grandparents once and my 6th great-grandparents twice, right? If you go up to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, there's a fairly well-preserved cabin called the Noah Bud Ogle cabin, and that is my 3rd great-grandfather. As a matter of fact, my great-grandmother, who was still alive when I was a child and I knew her, played on the porch of that cabin when she was a child, right? So there's a deep, deep connection there. And in the same kind of way, Moore and Muir are not surnames that are products of convergent evolution. They're related to one another. They're the same name. Muir was most often used in the lowlands, and Moore was more common in the highlands, but it was the same last name. My family roots run deep, and even though I've never lived in those mountains, every time I go to them, it feels like going home. In the same way that my Scottish blood hears the sound of a bagpipe and just melts, which is hard to do because those things are loud, right? I mean, they're not, but it just does something to my soul. And Muir said the exact same thing about the Sierra Nevadas, that he felt like he had come home. Do y'all ever feel that way? Have you ever been somewhere and you're like, I've been here before? I had the same feeling on the Georgia coast one time. I'm like, I know I've lived a lifetime here or something. I feel so at home right here. And what Muir said was this: now we are fairly into the mountains. Fairly, meaning a word not like we would use it now, but well into, right? Now we are fairly into the mountains and they are into us. We are fairly living now. We're living well now. What bright, seething, white fire enthusiasm is bred in us. We are part of nature. which like a fluid seems to drench and steep us throughout, as the whole sky and the rocks and the flowers are drenched with God. There's so much in that. First off, that white fire enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is my favorite word when it comes to etymology. The roots of enthusiasm, it comes from the Greek meaning God within, right? Or more likely, the gods within from ancient Greece. It's the divine within us coming out. That's what happens when we become enthusiastic about something. And to have a seething white fire enthusiasm, something that will not be denied. And it steeps us throughout. If you've ever gotten a cup of boiling water and you put a tea bag in it and you let that tea bag steep, and then afterwards you decide you didn't want a cup of tea after all, could you go back and separate the tea from the water? It would be impossible. To be steeped in something is to become it, right? To become it. We are steeped in the sacred in the same way. Nature is steeped in the sacred in the same way. And one of the best ways to remember that sacredness within us is to connect again with the ways that it displays in the earth. It becomes a reflection. It becomes a teacher to us. Oh. Who doesn't love bunnies? Anybody else got bunnies in your front yard? I got bunnies that run through my front yard now and then. I love bunnies. Bunnies are precious. They're teachers too. You remember the story in the book of Job? There's a wealthy man who lost everything. I might do a series on the book of Job pretty soon. It's an interesting book. It's an old, ancient text. A wealthy man who lost everything. He lost his children, he lost his money, he lost his health. And it's this ancient story that explores the relationship between God and humans, between blessings and curses, between good and evil, yin and yang. Job struggles. In a lot of traditional churches, he's often painted as this man who never lost his faith in God, but that's not entirely true. He got mad at God, right? He was like, what is going on? He stayed in the conversation with God, though, right? He continued turning to God with his anger, with his lack of understanding. But this is one of the moments of wisdom we find in the book of Job. Ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind. The wisdom in Job doesn't say, go find a priest and see what they have to say. Go open the scriptures and see what they tell you to do. It says, go ask the birds. Go ask the trees. Go ask the ocean. Listen to the earth. Remember that time I talked to you about the ancient Druidic priestesses who would carve a hole in the earth and listen, right? Carve out some little dirt and listen. Listen to the earth. Sit with God in nature and you'll come to understand, is what he's saying. Anybody else go out into nature like I do, and when you come back you feel healed somehow and you're not even sure what happened? Yeah. It just happens. Jesus knew that this happened. Several times in Scripture, we read of Jesus going into the mountains to be alone and pray. As a matter of fact, it is one of the most repetitive of his actions in the Scripture. He went off into the mountains to be alone and pray. And we often have this image, growing up in the church I grew up in, the image of that was Jesus up in a mountain with a big boulder serving as his altar, and he's kneeling down, and he's got his hands folded like this, and he's beseeching the heavens, right? I think just being in the mountains is prayer. Yes. Just being in the mountains is prayer. And I like this. I didn't like this picture at first. When I first found this picture, I thought, I kind of didn't want the town in there at all. But I like what this does for us because it gives me kind of a metaphor. As I began to look at it more and more as I was connecting with it yesterday, I began to realize that even Jesus had to pull away from the created world, the synthetic world, And he had to pull out to the natural world in order to see that for what it was. Right? In the same way that we sometimes have to pull away from all of this to see it for what it is. Muhammad went to the mountain. He spent time in a cave up in the mountain, which is where the Quran was given to him. Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree to receive enlightenment. He didn't read a book. He didn't go to a priest. He sat with nature. Every great spiritual teacher, almost the stories are the same. They go off into nature. They go off to be alone with the natural world and with the divine in that natural world. And that's where they found their sacredness. I love monkeys. This is not a monkey, it's a great ape. I know that. I hate seeing monkeys in clothes. I hate it. You can go on TikTok or Instagram and you can get in a rabbit hole of monkeys in clothes, right? There's all kinds of people out there putting monkeys in clothes. I try not to step into too much judgment about it, but it's the thing I get most self-righteous about. I will tell you that. I have this deep, deep belief that wild animals should be in the environment that they were meant to be in. And so, but I try to hold back my judgment just a little bit, and I try to say, well, maybe that is a true rescue situation. Maybe. I still don't think they need to put them in clothes, but maybe there's a fantastic chimp rescue, by the way, in Georgia. I can't think of the name of it right now, but there's a wonderful chimp. They have a lot of land, and they let them live wild in the trees in Georgia. I love that. I love that idea. They shouldn't wear clothes. John Muir spoke of the wildness of God, the untamableness of the divine. He talked about how the earth doesn't need us. It doesn't need our technology or our cities or our roads, but we need the earth. We need her beauty, and we need her wildness, and we need her sacredness. And what humans have done to nature is about like putting a chimpanzee in a suit, right? That's kind of what we've done. And I want to take that a step further. It also seems an apt metaphor for the way we try to put God into a religious framework, right? God is a Jew. God is a Christian. God is a Muslim. God is a Hindu. God is a Baptist, right? And all of these are trying to put the same God into different suits, give the same God a different kind of look. But John Muir tells us, in God's wildness lies the hope of the world. I want an untamed God. I want a God that runs free like a zebra who broke out of its corral, right? I want a God who acts in the most natural way and reflects for me through nature and the creation the same exact kind of freedom. If we teach anything about God here at this place, I hope it's God's wildness. The natural, sacred state of divinity that runs through all of life, undomesticated, unleashed, unharnessed. John Muir called it the one fountain soul. He said, we all flow from one fountain soul, which is saturating all. All of us come from that one fountain soul. That one fountain soul cannot be tamed. We try to put it in a suit all the time. We cover it with our personality and our ego and our job and all the things. We do the same thing to ourselves, don't we? It's one of the reasons why when we go into meditation, I'm asking you to take all of that off. Untame your soul. Let it be wild again. Let it feel natural again. Take off the face that you want everybody to see. Take off this idea that you need to keep. Let yourself preach in overalls, right? Let yourself be as authentic as possible. Inside all of our suits is the wild essence of divinity. So I want to leave you with one more short poem. It's one of my favorites. It's by a poet named Wendell Berry. It's called The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Deb. That was food for my soul. Food for my soul. Thank you, Carolyn, because I think you were some inspiration there too, you know. I love the way that this community comes together, and everyone that I've ever met here is a nature lover, and that is one thing that we really have in common too. We love to be a part of sacred circles that we have outside. Frank's got one coming up, the Peace Circle that's celebrating the summer solstice, and we have a beautiful property that we can do that. So happy that we can come together in a natural environment and love that together. Also want to share some gratitude for our new members. I don't think we say this enough, but over the past 2 months, we have 12 new members, right? And along with them are 7 kids for the youth department. So we are growing. We have the plan for our new member classes is the first Sunday every other month, and then we will recognize on the last Sunday of that month. So here in a couple of weeks, we'll be recognizing those 4 new members, loving on them and congratulating them. So just wanted to remind you of that. So the next one will be, this is August, beginning of August. So if you are looking for a place to put down roots, keep that in mind. Also want to remind everybody to check Facebook. Where there was a question about Frank's classes. Yes, they're on 2 different days. One week was going to be one day, and another week's going to be another day, just because of scheduling conflicts that came up.
But it said Tuesday the 11th, and the 11th is Wednesday. So is it Tuesday?
This week is Tuesday. It's Wednesday. This week is Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday, yeah, the 12th, right? So yes, but if you'll check Facebook, we will clarify that on Facebook. So that'll be good too. Just keep track of that. Look at the what's happening, and you can always, as you go into the front room there's the bulletin board that has everything on there also. So, without further ado, let's all stand together and say our closing prayer together as we prepare to leave. And Daphne's going to lead us in it today. Together, may I
Stay true to the path that leads me to the light that is mine to shine. May my light provide help and kindness to others on their journey. May I bring peace to every situation, comfort to the grieving, and love to all beings. May my heart remain centered on what is sacred to my soul. And so it is.
I am grateful for another day of living. Grateful for a new chance to forgive. I'm grateful to receive life's many blessings, and I'm grateful for the love I have to give. I am grateful for another day of living. I am grateful for a new chance to forgive. Grateful to receive life's many blessings, and I'm grateful for the love I have to give. Yes, I'm grateful for the love I have to give. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and a great week. And